daily night show, George's at Night. Recently, we have been talking about genetics, but today we're going to talk about an interesting topic, which is the pros and cons of genetic engineering. As a reminder, genetic engineering is a process to alter structure and nature of genes in human beings, animals, or foods using techniques like molecular cloning and transformation. In other words, it is the process of adding or modifying DNA in an organism to bring about a great deal of transformation. Genetic engineering was thought to be a real problem just a few short years ago. We feared that soon we would be interfering with nature, trying to play God, and cheat him out his chance to decide whether we were blonde or dark hair, whether we have blue or bright green eyes, or even how intelligent we were. The queries and concerns that we have regarding such an intriguing part of science are still alive and well, although they are less talked about nowadays than they were those few years ago. However, this does not mean that they are any less relevant. In fact, they are as relevant today as they ever were. There are a number of every real and every troubling concerns surrounding genetic engineering, although there are also some very real benefits to further genetic engineering and genetic research too. It seems, therefore, as though genetic engineering is both a blessing and a curse, as thought we stand benefits as well as loss from developing this area of science even further. So, let's talk about the pros of genetic engineering. For example, we have tackling and defeating diseases. Some of the most deadly and difficult diseases in the world that have so resisted destruction could be wiped out by the use of genetic engineering. There are a number of genetic mutations that humans can suffer from that will probably never be ended unless we actively intervene and genetically engineer the next generation with distance these problems. Another one is getting rid of all illness in young and unborn children. Imagine that's really interesting. For example, there are very many problems that we can detect even before children are born. In the womb, doctors can tell whether your baby is going to suffer from Down's syndrome. In fact, the day by which you can have an abortion has been pushed back relatively late just to say that people can decide whether or not to abort a baby if it has one or more of these sort of issues. However, with genetic engineering, we would no longer have to worry. Well, one of the main benefits of genetic engineering is that it can help cure diseases and illness in unborn children. All children will be able to be born healthy and strong with no diseases or illness present at birth. Genetic engineering can also be used to help people who risk passing on terribly degenerative diseases to their children. But we have also the cons. Cons of genetic engineering, perhaps more obvious than the pros of genetic engineering, there are a number of disadvantages to allowing scientists to break down barriers that perhaps are better left untouched. And we have a question here. Is it right? Do you think so? When genetic engineering first became possible, people's first reactions were to immediately question whether it was right. Many religions believe that genetic engineering, after all, is tantamount to playing God and expressly forbid that it is performed on their children, for instance. Besides the religious arguments, however, there are a number of ethical objections. This disease, after all, exists for a reason and has persisted throughout history for a reason. Whilst we should be fighting against them, we would need at least a few illnesses, otherwise we will soon become overpopulated as a result. In fact, living longer is already causing social problems in the world today, so to artificially extend everybody's time on Earth might cause even more problems further down the line, problems that we cannot possibly predict. Another thing is when may lead to genetic defects. That's really interesting. Another real problem with genetic engineering is the question about the safety of making changes at the cellular level. Scientists do not yet know absolutely everything about the way that human body works, although they do, of course, have a very good idea. So how can they possibly understand the ramifications of slight changes made about at the smallest level? What if we manage to wipe out one disease only to introduce something brand new and even more dangerous? We just don't know. Additionally, if scientists genetically engineer babies still in the womb, there is a very real and present danger that this could be or lead us to more complications, including miscarriage, that is early on, premature birth, or even stillbirth, all of which are unthinkable. Genetic engineering is one of the topics that causes a lot of controversy. Altering the DNA for organisms has certainly raised a few eyebrows. It may work wonders, but who knows if playing with the nature is really safe? Making yourself aware of all aspects of genetic engineering can help you to form your own opinion. That's the reason of this program. And I would like to invite you to our conference, which will take place in Auditorio Nacional this September the 20th, 2016 at 8 p.m. The cost will be $500 and you can buy your tickets at Ticketmaster. At the conference, we will talk about important things of your interest, like potential to live longer, produce new foods, limits of genetic diversity, and can genetics go too far? Well, hope to see you there, and good night.